Did you know that back in 1937, a study was done to figure out why people succeed and why some people don't? And it was found that there were 13 reasons why people succeed, and there were 30 why they don't. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 13 reasons why people succeed. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Write Your Own Story. If this is the first time you've been here, it's great to have you. My name is James. I'm an online counsellor, hypnotherapist and life coach. I'm also an author, a podcaster and a YouTuber. Let's get straight into this. What are these 13 causes of success? Well, here's a bit of the backstory. Andrew Carnegie at one point was one of the richest men in America. He was originally from Scotland and he was a steel magnate. All the buildings that were made in America, he was behind all that. Now he approached a reporter called Napoleon Hill and he gave Napoleon Hill a task. He said, there must be a reason why some people always seem to win. And there must be a reason why some people always seem to never win. And Napoleon Hill was all ears at this. And Andrew Carnegie said, I'm going to give you an introduction to the top 500 people in business across all different industries. And I want you to speak to them, and they will speak to you because I'm making the personal introduction. And I want you to see, is there a formula? Because I don't think it's just luck. There must be something going on. And I want you to find out if there is. And if there is, document it, put it in a book, let people know. Napoleon Hill went and did this, and he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. Here is my copy here. It's a bit battle worn. Yours won't have tabs at the top if you decide to get it. Fantastic book. Now, the book covers many concepts about winning and about changing your mindset. But here's the important part. One of the things Napoleon Hill found was there were certain reasons why people succeed. There was 13 of them. And there was 30 reasons why people don't win. So, in this episode, I'm going to go through the 13 reasons, the 13 causes of success. But I want to ask a favour of you first of all. I want you to think of something that you went for and you succeeded at. Okay? Whatever it might be, big or small, recent or way back when. Think of something that you decided to go for that you were successful at. And either mentally or physically, tick it off the list as I go through these 13 reasons. All right, let's do that. Now, number one on Napoleon Hill's list of the 13 reasons why people succeed, number one was desire. He found that everyone who he interviewed who was successful, they had what he called a burning desire to do it. So whatever it is that you're thinking of, was there desire involved? If there is, tick it off. That's number one. Number two, faith. Now this doesn't mean religious faith. It means just a faith in yourself that I can do this. This is within me. I can do it. Okay? Was faith there? That's number two. Number three, autosuggestion. I'm going to have to explain what some of these mean because some of them you just wouldn't know. Autosuggestion may be one of them. Autosuggestion means when you give yourself a command and then you follow it and you do it so often it becomes habitual. All right, so you don't even have to think about it anymore. You just do it. Did that feature on the thing that you're thinking of? Autosuggestion. That's number three. Number four is specialised knowledge. Did your thing require specialised knowledge? Did you have to learn that? If it is, give it a tick. If not, just ignore it. Number five is imagination. Did you need that? Was there something where you had to play with the idea a little bit and get a bit creative? Did that feature? If so, give it a tick. That's number five. Number six, organised planning. Was that needed in your task? This was needed. This was one of the 13 of the reasons of success. Organised planning. Did yours feature that? If so, you know what to do. Number 7, decision. Did you have to make a decision to do it? Some of these are very, very straightforward. Did you make a decision with yours? Number 8, persistence. Is that needed to get your thing that you're thinking of across the finish line? If it is, give it a tick. Number 9, this one will take a bit of explaining. It's called the power of the mastermind. The power of the mastermind. And what Hill found was that in all the people that had succeeded, no one had done it on their own. They'd all needed help along the way with another person. Now, he said the power of the mastermind is 2 or more people coming together, collaborating, thinking about the goal and thinking about how they're going to achieve it. So let's pick an example. Suppose you're thinking of, you took a driving test. The mastermind will be you and your driving instructor. All right. So if that one applied to you, if you needed more than one person and there was some of you getting together to get it across the line, give that one a tick. Number 10, the mystery of sex transmutation. Yeah, you heard that right. What is the mystery of sex transmutation? In simple terms, it's this. Suppose you've got a guy and he fancies a woman and he doesn't really know much about it. So what he might do, he might try and find out some things about it. He then might speak to some of his friends to see whether his friends know her friends. He might think of something witty to say, maybe a cheesy chat-up line. He might go over and introduce himself. He might pluck up the courage to ask to go on a date. He might get a haircut. They might go for a meal, might go and catch a film. It might be a second date, whatever it might be. If that thing then extends into a relationship, okay, all that activity that the person has done was energy. And what Napoleon Hill found was that if you take a huge amount of energy that's focused on one thing and you move it over into a task that you want to get across the finish line, that's an enormous amount of energy. So what he found with some of the 500 people, the majority of them, they were very rigid in what they did. And they may not do this to do this. They may not go on a date because they've got to get something done. They may not go on a date that particular night because they're studying, because they need to do this, whatever it might be. So the mystery of sex transmutation, bit of an explanation needed. If this featured in yours, give it a tick. Number 11, the subconscious mind. Now, think of an iceberg. The bit that's under the water, that's like the subconscious mind, because you've got your conscious mind and your unconscious or your subconscious. The subconscious mind is the larger part. It's where all the magic happens. Everything you've ever experienced is stored in your subconscious mind. Now, of course, you can't remember all of it because you don't need to remember all of it. But that doesn't mean it's just being lost. It's stored. And it's stored in your subconscious mind. So how this applies to getting a task across the finish line is there some of the magic that's within you, that's stored in your subconscious mind, that maybe you're just getting a feel and getting a sense. And you think, yeah, this just seems right. Yeah, this, and I could do this and I could do that. And an idea suddenly pops into your mind. That's all from the subconscious, all right? So did the subconscious mind get you across your finish line? If it did, give it a tick. Number 12, the brain. Now, Napoleon Hill here is talking about the conscious part of your mind. So in the last one, where the subconscious, we were talking about the iceberg, what was below the water. This is a bit above the water. This is the stuff that you know, and you know that you know it. Okay, so did the conscious part of your mind, the brain, did that feature in getting you across your finish line? If it did, it's a tick. And number 13. This one is the sixth sense. And the sixth sense can be quite difficult to explain. It might be, you can't really put your finger on it, but you just know you've got to do it. It's like that itch you've got to scratch. I've got to do this. I can't explain it to anyone else. It just makes sense inside here somewhere. Inside here, yeah, it seems right. So that's number 13, the sixth sense. So, how did you do? Have you tallied up those scores? Let me know in the comments how many out of the 13 you scored on your task. You don't have to say what the task was, but please let me know what number you scored. If you want to include the task, that's fine as well. Now, when I first learned about this, I was going back on all different things that I'd achieved and thought, was this? No, that wasn't. This was it. That definitely was. That was really big. That was only a little bit. And I found that on the majority of things that I've got across the finish line, I was probably hitting either 13 or 12. Really, might be hitting 11, but normally it was between 12 and 13. Now, I'm still working on things now, and these tasks, these 13, I have them on my wall. This is so important to me that on my wall just next to me here, I have a list of the 30 reasons why people don't win and the 13 reasons why people do. Now, I intentionally haven't covered the 30 in this video because this video will go on for an awful long time if it did. But if you want to find out what they are, I would recommend getting this book. This one, it's like slightly embossed. I don't know whether it'll show that or not, whether you can see it or not. This is probably my favourite version. There's lots of different versions of Think and Grow Rich. What I'll do, if this is of interest to you, I'll go back through my Amazon purchase history. I'll find this book and I will put the Amazon link for this version in the description. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like, a share, subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell. If you do that, it tells YouTube, yeah, this is worth sharing the love. Let's spread it around. If you do that as well, it really does help the YouTube channel. So I will see you on the next episode of Write Your Own Story. And for the time being, I'll say goodbye. This is James. Bye-bye.